That was me.
That was you? That's right. So for those of you, I see some new faces in the crowd. We'll go around and do introductions in a moment. But out of this room and other offices that I've had, we've run several WordPress meetups. So I've been running the local OC WordPress meetup for 8 years now. And underneath the OC WordPress umbrella, we actually have 5 meetings a month. So we've got the general meetup, we've got a developer meetup, a design meetup, business meetup, and then a women who WP meetup. And that happens 5 times a month under that umbrella. We're going to try to kind of do the same thing for Shopify, right? So I don't know exactly where this group's going to go, but I think there is an opportunity to do a general Shopify meetup and then a developer Shopify meetup because I think we're going to find that there's people that have both interests. And so several of the people in this room come from the WordPress community. So some of the things I'll be talking about tonight are WordPress versus Shopify, or actually WooCommerce versus Shopify. If that's interesting to you, we can talk about that. But one of the things I wanted to say is this is really your meetup. So I'm here as a facilitator. I've got some things that interest me that I want to talk about, but I'm not in charge. This is really for the community. And one of the things that we do in the, or at least one of the philosophies in the OC WordPress meetup is we're really all about sharing. And so the OC WordPress meetup is really built on that foundation of sharing knowledge, helping people out. And I want to bring that same philosophy into this meetup. And the one thing I've always said about the WordPress meetup is no matter where you're at with Shopify expertise, with Shopify experience, hi, welcome. No matter where you're at, you're 5 minutes ahead of somebody. And that means that you have some knowledge that can help somebody out. And no matter what you're doing in Shopify, whether you're brand new, whether you're an advanced developer, whether you just run a store, you have knowledge that can help somebody out that is trying to learn. So I encourage you to share that. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and go around the room, give you a chance to introduce yourself. And what I want to hear is your name, what you do, and how you're involved in Shopify. And if that's nothing at all, if you're brand new, that's okay too. So we'll start with Samantha.
Oh.
That's what I was talking about.
Hi, I'm Samantha Zangit. I'm Steve's wife. I am a VP of operations for a medical device company. We currently use WooCommerce for our online purchases, our e-commerce. But we are looking at Shopify to move from WooCommerce to Shopify in my organization. Thanks for having me.
Mike.
Hi, Mike Nussbaum, project manager at Zeek Interactive here, and I'm here to learn more about Shopify.
I'm Christine. By day, I'm a physical therapist, and I'm just getting into Shopify. Got it about a month ago, so I'm here to learn more and hear from everyone's experience.
First selling a particular product?
Yeah.
What are you going to sell?
Women's clothing for now.
Great. Okay.
My name is Vincent Reese. I am in support of her and also to learn a little bit more about Shopify.
Okay, great.
My name is Mehmet. I'm a student. I just interested Shopify. I wanted them.
Great, welcome.
My name is Austin Armstrong. I'm a marketing project manager and video marketing strategist for a company called Therapy Cable and Beginnings Treatment Center, which is an addiction treatment facility. I'm interested mostly in Shopify as a passive income stream. I have a shop set up and just looking to learn some more advanced strategies.
Great.
I'm Jones. I am in the e-commerce space, or new to it, about 2 months in. Looking to open up a Shopify store. Actually have the skeleton pretty much finished. I'm looking to launch this week.
Great.
It's an art.
Great.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. Chris?
Chris Lamro. I have a Shopify store, launched it back in June of last year, and just looking to network and learn more and increase revenue and conversions, but yeah, it's going great.
Okay. Well.
Hi, my name is Mo Nelson. I actually build Shopify websites, and then I also help businesses with Google AdWords and doing marketing and stuff too.
Cool. Dave?
Dave Andrews. I've been using Shopify since it pretty much began. I've built a bunch of stores. I'm a Shopify expert. went to their conference, and other meetups up in LA. After I started building, I decided to go out and I obtained the rights to a brand, the digital rights to a brand called All Guys Rule. So we launched October 2015 on Shopify. Does really well, and also other sales channels. And then I'm creating my own company with some investors to do some other products on Shopify. So I've been using it all different ways and all different problems, and good and bad and otherwise. And it's a great platform, though. I dig it.
Great.
I'm Robert Ninehouse, Creative Director of 9 Studios, and brand new to Shopify, and just wanted to learn more about it.
Jamal?
Well, I'm Jabat. I'm one of the WordPress guys that Steve just mentioned. I know nothing about Shopify, but I love things ending with IFY.
My name is Erica. I do a little bit of everything, literally, and I'm just here to learn more about Shopify.
Great.
Yeah, we're gonna start our Shopify store probably sometime this month, so Chris and I are partners.
What's your name?
Oh, Robert Griffin. Chris and I are partners by day, and we have an online ad agency where we manage AdWords and Facebook and stuff like that. So it was mostly lead gen, and then he launched the store in June. So we've always wanted to get in doing shopping management. And so by him having his own store, he's not only experienced with the store, but also fulfillment, and then we had to get good at Facebook, because it's for lead gen and shopping conversions are completely different. So we've been screwing around a lot with that, and now we picked up 2 clients this week in the Facebook management space, and so then we're going to start one about a wine clothing store, like wine t-shirt stuff. So
Nice. Excellent. Hi. And for those of you who don't know me, my name's Steve Zenkin. I'm the founder of Zeek Interactive. This is my office. Welcome. And the way I got into Shopify was because our clients started asking for it, right? So we've had several, like Mike said, we build WooCommerce sites. I've been building WordPress sites for, I think, almost 12 years now. And so we've done a lot of e-commerce sites in WooCommerce. But we're finding that there's clients that are gravitating towards Shopify for many different reasons. And rather than trying to pull them over to WooCommerce, we decided to learn the Shopify platform so that we can have that as part of our service offering. With my clients, a lot of my clients have us as the web agency, and then a separate agency as the Shopify agency, as the e-commerce agency. Well, I'd like to be the single agency of record. So that's our goal with the clients that we're working for, and that's how we got into this space. Yes.
are you going to do them a standalone Shopify, or are you going to integrate it into WordPress?
Let's talk about that.
Right.
Good question. These are great questions. The way I typically run the WordPress meetups is I just open it up to whatever you want to talk about. So I've got some topics that I wanted to talk about tonight, but if there's anything that you wanted to add to the agenda, please let me know. Like I said at the beginning, I'm not an expert in Shopify yet. I'm about 4 months into this, so I know enough to be dangerous, but I also know enough to break a lot of stores, which is exactly how I started out with WordPress. And I broke a lot of websites before we got good at it. By trade, I am a coder, so I do, my native languages are PHP, MySQL. I was coding custom PHP websites before I got into the WordPress space. The reason I got into WordPress is because I needed a standardized content management system. That's what our clients were looking for, and so we started gravitating toward WordPress. Now, I see us kind of gravitating toward Shopify because we need a standardized e-commerce platform, and this seems to be the one that's really growing and leading. And that's kind of how this all came to be. Any questions or comments on anything anybody said? You came in a little bit late, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Go ahead and introduce yourself and talk about what you're doing in Shopify.
My name is Laura Baker. I own an online store called Baker Row. I have my own standalone store as well as outlets on Amazon and Walmart and Jet.com. And I'm primarily in the home goods section or
Great.
area.
Great. Okay, so like I said, we've got all different user levels here, right? We've got people that have never touched Shopify, never seen Shopify. We've got people that have been running stores and several stores for a long time. What I wanted to start with was addressing some of the ways you get into Shopify. And again, I'm coming at this as an experienced WooCommerce user, so some of this might be leaning towards that background. But feel free to jump in. And again, I am here as a facilitator, right? So I know what I know, but if there's something that I'm saying that's incorrect or you have more to add, please, that's what this is for. This is about conversation. So anything I'm gonna bring up is meant for conversation. One thing that I forgot to talk about is I started a private Facebook group. We have a group like this for the OC WordPress group. In our WordPress group, this is meant for any level questions, right? So as long as the conversation stays around Shopify, that's what this is for. We keep it private to keep the spammers out. We keep it private to make sure that the conversation sort of stays on point. And we police that WordPress group pretty carefully. So the conversation is very tailored toward either our meetings or WordPress or something that's related to WordPress. And we'll do the same thing for this group. So if you want to get added to this, see me afterwards, and I'll get you added to the Facebook group so that we can have conversations here. Normally at this point in the WordPress meetup, I talk about WordCamp, which is the WordPress conference. The only Shopify conference that I know about is Unite, that's coming up in May. I am planning on attending that in Toronto. Dave, are there any other local Shopify conferences like that, or is that the one?
That's the one, and it's last year I think was their big. They did one prior.
Okay.
And last year was actually it was fun. The app, you get the app, it's great to interact and engage people. It's very casual, but it was very much the first day was very much like an Apple event. They were revealing all the features and functionality of what they were going to do. The problem they ran into the second day is the power went out in all of San Francisco. Oh. And it was beautiful where the location was, everything, but you have all these pasty people, and it was sunny that day in San Francisco, so everybody's getting sunburned. But I mean, I got to tell you, they scrambled, they had generators, like they did everything, and it really became, instead of like going to these various conferences, they had 3 different kind of tracks, where app developers, web developers, Shopify developers, and different kind of tracks you can go into. It wasn't so much if you were selling a product there. So it wasn't for that, it was more development focused. But it was still good to get informational. I met with, Bold to all kinds of developers. I met a company out of Russia that was there. They had a search app that was awesome for the price, and they rolled out, it's really, really cool. But you're meeting Toby, the founder of Shopify, and hanging out with him, or Harley, the COO. You're literally sitting next to him and just ask them a question. They're chill. They're really, really cool, and it's a lot of people with a lot of passion. So I would encourage you to go. It's Toronto this year. I'm going to be there. Yep. And they do have a lot of various meetups, drinks, cocktails, all that kind of stuff. And they had a great party. Yeah, drinks, cocktails. It's always worth it. But yeah, it's definitely worth it. You'll meet a lot of different people in different areas.
So tickets are on sale currently, and there's an early bird price, I think. Oh, it's not loading. Oh, there it is. So there is no, the early bird's sold out, but the standard price right now is $600. It goes up to $700 if you wait. So that's something you might want to think about.
And I would get there. They do stuff ahead of time, and maybe fly out the end of the last day. But I know they do stuff like the night before it begins, and I would be there probably really early, so that way you're ready to go, and especially if there's a time change for you and all that stuff too.
Are there other events related to Shopify, like Shopify Meetups around?
Shopify puts on meetups. I know they do it in LA, but it's maybe twice a year, and it's been, it's kind of like this. There's lots of people there. They'll do a Q&A with maybe some of the app developers, but it didn't really encourage conversation between us. You're kind of just watching TV almost. Okay. Maybe a few questions. But I mean, it's still good to kind of learn. One of the things they did do is for the holidays, you can sign up, and they created a pop-up store downtown. You go in there and they have a store and give you tips. And they looked at my store and just said, I've been using it for so long. And they're like, I don't know what to offer, but they were showing me cool apps that were coming out or just released. So I was kind of going, didn't know about this one because it hadn't been marketed yet. So you were still getting some good feedback, and they were allowing you to work there all day and just kind of pick their brain if you just wanted a co-working space.
Great.
And it was free food and everything the whole time while you're there. So
I like
that's
free
kind of
food.
like the cool thing about Shopify. They're very laid back and
Yeah.
they really want to give you the knowledge. You know.
So that's great, and my experience so far has been that as well. I did meet with a couple of people from the Shopify team. They're aware of this meetup. They're aware that we've started this. They support us, and so they're going to be helping us grow this meetup as we go. So I am in touch with people on the Shopify team, which is great. And same experience that you just described. They're very supportive, which is great. And so,
by the way,
yeah.
ask them for books.
Ask them for books.
They've created a few different books, and they
Okay.
keep creating short little books, and they take people that are experts, and they'll put in some information that they've done, and it's everything you could ever imagine about selling online. You know, it's just short little books, and it seems like when I go to a meetup, they got books there, and it's another one, and then I went into Unite, they gave you another book, and
Great.
it's not a big, Moby Dick, it's just a little brief thing. So ask them for swag and stuff, I'm sure they'll send it out.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good tip.
Free stuff.
Cool. Thanks, Dan. So that was one of the first things I was going to talk about between sort of WordPress, the WordPress community, and Shopify community. WordPress is open source, right? So WordPress is downloadable software. You're welcome to use it any way you want. You can change it, you can fork it, you can make a new project out of it. It's yours. And there's a big community that develops that software. When we're developing a WordPress site, we're using the open source software. We're actually hosting it ourselves. And we're able to customize it the way we want it, right? There's another flavor of WordPress, which is WordPress.com, which is their hosted version of WordPress. That kind of like Shopify, you can just turn on a website, and now you've got kind of WordPress. It's very limited. You're not allowed to change it. You kind of pick from the themes that they offer, you pick from the plugins that they offer, and that's about it. Shopify is a cross sort of between the two. It is closed source, so I can't get the Shopify software. But I can customize it, right? So they have set it up, and I'm really impressed with the way that you can get in and customize the software. So in WordPress, there's themes. In Shopify, there's themes as well. So those are kind of the same thing. And I'll show you a little bit about themes, and if we get there, just maybe scratch the surface of customizing themes. In WordPress, there's plugins. In Shopify, there's apps. And so just those are the kind of the two, they're very similar in that way. But the difference is Shopify is hosted, it is closed source, and that means that you can't run your own version of a Shopify store, which means you can't run a local version of a Shopify store. Everything is hosted. But there are still ways to develop without having it seen by the public. So when we're developing a WordPress site, I'm developing everything locally within my computer. So I've got a web server running in my computer. I can work in my own sandbox. I can break things. I can mess everything up and make sure it's perfect before I deploy it. Not the same in the Shopify space, kind of. And so that's one of the first differences between WordPress or other systems and Shopify. So that's something to be aware of if you're getting into Shopify and development. Make sense? Okay. Take a look here. I had some notes. The nice thing about Shopify is it's really all in one. So it's one complete system. And what that means is if you add a theme, let's say a premium theme, you buy it right inside of Shopify. So the store is very integrated. The marketplace is very integrated. If you buy an app, you just add it on, and it's all integrated into sort of one bill. That's not true of the WordPress space. The WordPress space, everybody's selling everywhere. There's nowhere to buy within WordPress unless you're doing an add-on inside of WordPress.com. If you want to buy a piece of software, you buy it, you install it, you maintain it. Maybe there's support, maybe there's not. There are third-party developers within the Shopify space, but it's all sort of integrated within one system, which is really nice for the Shopify store owners, and especially if you're getting into app development or theme development. It's a great product marketplace with a really nice, integrated, cohesive ecosystem for selling products. So if that's something that you're interested in, I think that's a really good opportunity. Are you selling any? Do you sell any themes or apps?
No, I don't. I don't get into that. I've consulted with a few app developers because of my needs.
Yep.
And so there's some great, like the app developers too. It's very chill in the whole Shopify area. No one's really out to get you. or competitive, I'll say. There's good apps, there's bad apps.
Yep.
And obviously you look at reviews, and I have seen some reviews that have been, weighted, and there's almost like Amazon store.
Weighted like a Yelp review?
Yeah, well,
Or an Amazon.
meaning I'm not saying fake reviews,
Okay.
but they encourage people, like, heavily encourage the reviews, and they might encourage early on. I mean, like, one product I used was Stitch Labs, and it's a nightmare for inventory management, and it's powerful, but their business is ran horribly. But they're on let's say the first week of really helping getting you going, and then all of a sudden they kind of just disappear, and they raise rates, and they're really shady, but they get you the review in the beginning. So there's a lot of get the reviews, so you got to kind of weigh it and look through them, the various apps that are out there.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Okay. Questions? All right. Did I miss anything? That's about all I had as far as WordPress or WooCommerce versus Shopify. So one of the places to start if you're brand new, at least one of the places I started, was to set up a Shopify partner area. Because what that gets you is, actually I take that back. The place I first started was I set up my own store, right? I went to Shopify and set up a store, but I don't have anything to sell. I was really just trying to learn development. And if you're on the services side or the agency side, I find it's better to set up a Shopify partner area. And I'm going to show you what that looks like.
Really quick, you said
Yep.
you don't have anything to sell. Have you heard of Oberlo?
Yes, it was the first thing that came up. Yes.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so just so you know, Shopify overall went public, and their stock went through the roof. And there was some controversy
That was
around it. And
last year, right?
I think a year and a half, 2 years ago, somewhere
Okay.
around there, but it's still through the roof. But you can read up on the controversy around it. But one of the things they've done is there's really cool apps out there. There's Kit, which is this, I use it, it's automated. It's okay for SEM and stuff, but it's got some cool tools and integrations. One of the other apps that all of a sudden just they bought is Oberlo. So if you have no products to sell, yeah, you just drop ship everything, and it drop ships from Alibaba Express or AliExpress. And it's a little sketchy in what it is, but a lot of people just don't have things to sell and they're looking for passive income. And so you go to AliExpress where there is a lot of counterfeit good, but you can sell pretty much anything you want. I mean, literally, I was going through this fishing poles to sex toys. I mean, it's literally in.
That sounds like a great story.
That's actually, I got fishing poles and sextoys.com. But yeah, you can go through it all, and it's it's click of a button through a plugin, and it's added to your store. You add how much price, you got to pad the ship dates and everything else because it's usually coming from somewhere else.
China.
Yeah, China. But it allows you to sell products instantly.
Yeah.
So
Oberlo was the first thing that came up for me when I set up my Shopify store because I didn't have anything to sell, and it said here's some things you can sell right now. It's just not what I was looking to do, right? I was looking to learn the development side of things. But yes, you're right. It was, and now I get all their I get I think an email from them every day. Why haven't you hooked your fishing poles? Anyway, thank you. So that's Oberlo. The Shopify Partner Portal, though, gives me a place where I can practice, right? It really is my sandbox in Shopify, and that's why I recommend if you're just getting familiar with it, you set up you set up yourself as a Shopify partner, because once you're a partner, you get the portal, and the first tab there it says Development Stores, so I can set up as many development stores as I want, and those are just non-public stores. Those are sandbox stores. So I can set up a store and fill it with dummy products and just play around. And that's how I learned the Shopify interface. And so one of the first things I'm going to do here is just set up let's just set up a development store. So we'll create a store.
What's my password?
I'm going to make one right now. It's that. Can you remember it?
Yeah, wonderful.
So it's setting up my my development store for me, and now I'm going to have a brand new sandbox. And so now I'm inside my store. One of the first things to do when you're inside your store is you can go in, you can create products, you can start to customize your store. But what I like to do is start with dummy data. I do the same thing when I'm setting up a WordPress site. I'll add a bunch of dummy data for posts and pages. Same thing exists inside of a Shopify store. And so the first thing you want to add is the development tools, and it's right here. There's a button that says Install Development Tools. Excuse me, Developer Tools. Let's go ahead and install that. And now that that's there, you can see here it says Generate Dummy Data. And so this will give me just a whole bunch of stuff within my Shopify store to go in and play with. And it truly is just dummy data. It's like it's Greek text or Latin text. But let's go ahead and set this up as a growing business. It's going to give me 20 products, 90 customers, and 150 orders. Let's click Generate. The one thing to be aware of is because it's actually filling in real orders, it's sending me the emails for those orders as well. So I just got 150 emails. So don't be surprised when you do that, because this is it's dummy data, but it's actually real data that's going into a store. Because I can take this development store later on and make it public. So I can use this area, this sandbox. I can set up my store the way I want it, and then turn it public later to start paying for it as a real store. So you can use this as your way of creating your store before you go live with it. Okay. So again, I just generated, I just created 150 emails for myself. I've already set up a blocker in my Gmail to keep those out.
Real quick, is this partner program free to
Yes.
sign up? Is it? Okay.
Yep. So everything I'm doing is free. You don't pay for any of it. You don't pay for any of these Shopify stores. But that development store is password protected. It's not public.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, here, use this one. Try this one. It's password protected. It's not public until you actually make it public. But once you make it public, then you have to choose a payment plan. Right? That's when you go live with it. That's when you start paying.
150 free emails. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Start with
But this is truly a free sandbox to get familiar with Shopify, to develop your store, to play around, and that's what this is meant for. So this partner portal is really powerful. It's really good to have. Makes sense about the dummy data. Any questions on that? Yes, Robert.
Yeah, once it's live, do you still have a sandbox portion that you can play around with, like kind of like WP Engine and the?
No, there's no staging area.
There's no staging area.
No.
So would you have to like build another sandbox and duplicate it if you want to test it, and then and then double make the changes on your site?
It's actually one of my questions for the group later on is how to duplicate a store into a development store. I've hacked my way around it, and I've read the forums on how to do it, and it's pretty manual, but you can. I have a development version of like Read Store. I took Read Store and I made a development version of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Robert?
Is there anything else in the developer tools that like is worthwhile, I guess, noting? I guess like in the.
That's the only thing I've played with so far, to be honest with you. Does anybody else have an answer to that question?
I was curious, like if it's something that you should turn on, if you don't need like the dummy content to start.
It's the only. I read this from a Learning Shopify blog post when I first got to know this, and so I don't know. I don't know what else is in those developer tools.
Okay.
So, when I go to the product section, you now see I've got the 90 products that I generated, and if I look at my store. Here's my store with my dummy products in it. Let's go to our catalog. So there's all the dummy products that it created. And again, it just fills in. Some have images, some don't. It really is just kind of dummy content, but it's good to get started and to start playing with. The other thing, I'm going to go through this interface in a moment, but let's go back to the partner portal.
If you bought a theme, a premium theme, can you use it in the staging area?
Yes.
It counts as one of the uses. Like if you get 3 uses per that theme.
I don't know. I haven't tried that.
I haven't had any issues with that.
No, just use it there.
Because it's used in a free, because it's used as a development store?
It knows.
Yeah, we used, was it the Portland Turbo theme. It was like $350, like off of Shopify, but they're one of the main developers. We had to use it, and we did it in our dev environment, pushed it over to live, and then we had inside the store we made, I think, duplicates of the theme, because we were, like you were talking about staging environments. I can't remember what we did, because we did duplicate the theme because we were worried about something breaking, so we put it up, duplicate it, so we had a safe one to do any dev on the sandbox it. Because that was one of the issues something with Bold broke our pricing, and like prices and formatting, everything wasn't showing up properly, but we were able to have that sandbox and reverse it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Back to the partner portal for a minute. We talked about development stores, and again, I can have as many of these as I want. The second tab here is manage stores. Because I'm a partner, I can manage other people's stores, right? So the way I manage a store is I click Add Client Store, and I'm actually sending out a request to a client that already has a Shopify store. So if Dave wants me to manage his store, I can send out a request. All he needs to do is send me his Shopify URL. I send out that request, he gets it, and then he grants me access to that store. Now that's in my partner portal. You can see these are the stores that I'm managing 3 stores right now. And because I've got them in my partner portal, I've got a single sign-on essentially for any of the Shopify stores that I'm managing. So if I want to go see All Things by Faith, and we're going to get a demo of that in a minute, I click Login, and now I'm inside of that store. And so that's really handy if you're managing multiple Shopify stores, or if you're working with multiple clients that are in Shopify. So this is a very handy area. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is your team. So I don't work alone, and so any of the developers that are on my team that I want to be able to also manage those stores, I can have them here, and I can manage their access as well. So I can invite owners to this to my partner portal, or staff members if I don't want them to have full access. And those owners will also have access to the same things, the development stores and the managed stores. Make sense? Mm-hmm. So again, like I said, if you're looking to learn Shopify, or if you are getting to services, offering services, development services, you should have a portal page. It's really handy. You should have a portal page if you're just getting into the platform, because it's a way to have a free sandbox. Any questions or thoughts about the portal area? Okay. So let's go back and look at the Shopify store that I set up. So again, if you're already running a Shopify store, I apologize if this is review for you, but there's some noobs in the room, and I just wanted to cover a couple of quick things. If you come from the WooCommerce space, some of this is sort of familiar. It uses some of the same terms, but I find the Shopify interface a lot simpler than the WooCommerce interface. WooCommerce can get pretty complex pretty quick, especially if you're dealing with things like attributes. I find that attributes in WooCommerce can get really hairy. And attributes meaning if I'm running a t-shirt shop and I want to have sizes, right, small, medium, large, or colors of shirts, white, gray, black, whatever. Those attributes can get kind of hairy inside WooCommerce, as well as managing inventory. Managing inventory I find very, very difficult in WooCommerce. Because Shopify is really centered around e-commerce, centered around products, inventory, orders, it really is the central focus of the interface. And so WooCommerce is sort of baked into the content management system in WordPress. It's not the central focus. It's added on to WordPress. So it does feel very secondary, right? And for good reason. I mean, that's just how the system was built. So a couple things to note in Shopify. I'm on the products tab, and this is where you manage your products, your inventory, and your collections. And so collections is kind of similar to what a category would be in WooCommerce, kind of. And a collection is really a way to say, like, if you're running a clothing company, it's a way to say, here's all the women's products. Right? A collection might be women's or men's or shirts or handbags. Collection can be anything. What you're doing is basically collecting products based on a category, a tag, You can manually add products into a collection. There's all kinds of different ways to manage your collections. That's what that's for. The other thing I want to point out before I get into products is this online store tab. So in addition to all of the e-commerce features, it also has blogging, posts and pages if you come from the WordPress space. So posts meaning blog posts, pages meaning evergreen content. Posts are date-based content, pages are hierarchical content or evergreen content. An example of a page might be about the team, where an example of a post might be something new that came out or a press release or something that really is really date-based. So meant for more news type of content. But that's all built into the Shopify platform. So you don't necessarily, if you're just running a WordPress blog or a WordPress site, you don't necessarily need it. You can build that all into Shopify because it's all there. And so if you want to look here, here's blog posts. And if I create a new blog post, you're going to see it actually looks kind of similar to what WordPress looks like. Right? So there's your title, your content, your excerpt, feature image.
Similar, but less.
Less.
And
Yeah.
way simpler.
Yeah. Totally get it.
Oh my gosh.
Much simpler. Yeah. Could be good, could be bad, right? Dave, are there add-ons that are specific to the blogging area
Not
for
really
Shopify?
seen. I mean, we actually
Not add-ons, apps. Sorry.
Yeah,
apps.
not really. What we did is I was trying to figure out. I target the 55 plus demo with Old Guys Rule, and I'm trying to get user generated content. You know, they sell shirts in brick and mortar all over the world.
Yeah.
But digitally, it's a gift for your dad that has everything. And a lot of these guys like barbecue, fishing, cars, etc. But I want the shirts, people wearing them, doing it lifestyle, human, real lifestyle stuff. So we're going, okay, how do I get them? They're not tech savvy. So I ended up creating a Buddy Press site.
Okay.
So we ended up doing it that way, almost reversing it. Instead of doing a blog, created the Buddy Press site, the Old Guys Rule Club, and still no one joins because they just they don't, you know, they're 55 plus. It's just not.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah.
We did that through WordPress.
Yeah, so we did it through WordPress, tied it in with Shopify, added the buy button, so then I can create like top 5 selling items, put it into WordPress on that side of it. So I mean, if you're gonna blog, I'd avoid using this and just create it within WordPress. It does it so much better, and then just use the buy button and integrate it into that side of it through a collection.
Yep.
Because that buy button, you'll be able to select what you want to put, you know, particular to a page through the sidebar.
Got it. The other tab we're looking at here is pages, right? Again, very similar to the WordPress structure, very similar to a blog post. Just a page is evergreen, where a blog post is date-based. Navigation is the navigation that's going to go in your theme. Where you're shaking your head.
It gets pretty crazy pretty fast.
This area definitely does. This
Yeah.
can get very complex pretty fast. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
But the other one I want to point out here is themes. So again, if you're familiar with WordPress, this works very similar. But again, you're not uploading anything. You're not installing anything. Sort of. So let's go ahead and look at free themes. If I click here, explore free themes. These are the free themes that are available inside of the Shopify platform. If I click a theme here and click add, I now have the theme available for me to use. It's not live. Again, kind of similar to WordPress, you can add it but not activate it. That's what's happened here. So my active theme is still debut, but I now have this theme Jumpstart ready to go. It's in my install. It's ready for me to add. The neat thing about Shopify is when I've added that theme to my system, it's actually made a version, an instance of that theme that is mine. That theme actually has an ID to it. It's got a unique ID. The way to see it is right here. So if I look at actions, click edit code, there's an ID right here. It's just a number string, right? And that's important. We're not going to get too far into it tonight, but that's important for me as a developer, because as a developer, I'm actually editing that instance of that theme. So when I'm ready to go develop, I actually attach my local files to that theme, and I can control that theme, whether it's active or not. I now have an instance that's mine. So that's how the Shopify theme system works is all those themes are public, they're available for me. Once I add it, it's made an instance for me that I now own, and I'm able to break. Make sense? Yay. If I am ready to activate it or make it live, I go to Actions and click Publish. Yes, I would like to publish, and you'll now see that it goes from debut to Jumpstart. So that theme is now what's live on my Shopify site. Okay.
And it automatically changes everything you had already in your.
All my products are the same. Any of my blog posts, my pages are all the same. My
Products are the same, but
my layout is different.
CSS layout.
My layout is all different.
They
It's
use
a
CSS.
theme just like in WordPress. Yeah.
So if you switched themes, but you had heavily modified a previous theme, you wanted to see what this other theme looked like, and you wanted, said I don't like
There's
it.
there's a preview button. I skipped it really quick, but right here under Actions, there's a preview, so I can see
Wow.
I can see the other theme for me without actually publishing it live.
Okay.
Again, kind of similar to what WordPress does.
Cool. Well, I guess then, if you had to, could you revert back to the other theme and still have all of
Yes,
your customized stuff?
because it's that instance. Any customizations I've made stay. They stick. Because when I'm making modifications, I'm making it to that one instance that I've made of the theme.
Pretty cool.
Okay. Kind of similar to WordPress, there's a customizer. So if I go to Jumpstart, I don't know what the customizer looks for Jumpstart. They're different for every theme. But if I click Customize, just like WordPress, I've got a customizer. So I have all the settings here, and as I make changes to the settings, I see the changes happen live here in the preview. Let me see if I can make a quick change here. Let's go from classic through. Let's go from dark to light. I don't know if that changed.
It changed like one little.
Did it?
Yeah, on the
Did you
top,
actually
that
see a
white,
change?
yeah. You go all the way to the top.
Let's
there's
go
like a white thing.
to, I don't see any font stuff, theme settings.
Yeah, that's all under theme settings.
Thank you. Typography. So let's change this to,
Take a change. Took a while to load up.
Yeah, and this
There's a
varies.
status bar going across the top.
so yeah, my fonts are
This,
changing.
this varies a lot depending on which theme you pick,
Yeah.
because there are some themes that are off the chain as far as how
Yeah.
much you can customize them. There'll be a whole lot more to pick from than what you're seeing right here.
Off the chain, is that a technical term? You're absolutely right, and the reason is because the customizer, and again, I come from the WordPress theme development world. The customizer is part of the theme. So
Right.
all of these settings, as a theme developer, I choose what these are, and I can add to it. I can change this, and so yes, if I want to make something that's off the chain, I can do that here because that's under my control as a developer, right? And so. We can get into a whole debate about the customizer and how much you let somebody customize or not, or how confusing this gets. But that's probably a topic for another time. Because this same thing, that same debate exists in the WordPress world, right? And I've encountered themes inside the WordPress world that are off the chain and very complex. So, but you can see the similarities here if you worked within the WordPress space. Make sense? All right. Okay, so we went over all of these things. Let's talk about products.
Question, when you
Yep.
say publish, so that now, like, that live, your site is live, that automatically they can see the change?
Not public. So see in the very top it says password, remove password.
Oh.
If
So he's
this,
publishing
if this,
internally.
if this was
okay.
my live store, yes, but we're in a development store,
Gotcha.
so nothing's live.
Gotcha.
But yes, if I go into Chris's store right now and start messing around, yes, that would be, those changes would be public. Unless, sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Even if you did have a store that was live to the public, you're like, oh crap, I did a 50% off. and it broke something, on your live. You can always throw a password up, hey, the store will be back up, fix it, and then come back. So don't, you can turn it off,
But one of the
turn it
things,
on really quick.
one of the things to notice is, Debut is not live. Jumpstart is live. Debut is not.
Right.
I can customize this Debut right? So I can mess with the customizer in debut in the background without anybody seeing it before I publish my changes. So you can use a theme that is not public, customize it, make all the changes you want, and then publish it when you're ready to go, even in a live store.
So if you're live, then you just download another of the exact same
Yep.
theme.
Like Dave said.
That's
Close
what
it
we did.
up,
Yeah.
cover
Two
it.
themes, the two of the same themes?
You can.
Yeah.
What you-
Cover it up, post it up,
Two
and,
versions.
and
Yep.
then
Wow.
you have your
So-
your actual one. So that's a way to maybe like
Yeah, that's
change
what we
while
did.
you're off.
That's what we did, yeah. So you have the same theme and you date it or put a versioning on it. You know, I'm testing this app. We with Stitch Labs, when we're running it for our inventory, we have over 1,000 different SKUs. It helps manage it all across multi-channel, Amazon, eBay, etc., and Shopify, and do all the fulfillment and everything tied in. But it doesn't work with Bold Apps. They do this. Bold Apps does this hidden inventory thing, and so we're trying to just figure out what the hell is going on. So we created, duplicated the store, same thing, and went through there and just beat the hell out of it, trying to figure it out. And that's what Shopify actually recommended too.
Good.
Huh.
Yep.
There you go.
So again, you understand. Then the sort of the point here is I can work in the background, even on a live store, before I publish the changes.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
So let's talk about products, and we'll talk about we'll get into even more depth on this when Chris gets up here. But this is what a product page looks like. Actually, let me make a new product. So again, very similar to a blog post and very similar to what WooCommerce looks like. I've got my title and description, any product images, I upload those here. What collection it belongs in, so I can start to create collections here. If I want this to be, a women's product or a men's product, I type that here, just like a category. So I don't have that. Actually, I have to create.
Go
that
back
as
to
a
collections,
collection
create
first.
first, and come back.
I didn't set something. Oh, I have to give it the conditions. I'm not going to do that right now. Collections tags. So again, very very similar to WordPress. I can create as many tags as I want for these products. Here's the price of the product. I can manage inventory here. But the important thing I was talking about earlier, remember I was talking about attributes in WooCommerce. They're called variants in Shopify. And so variants is where things get interesting. And so if this is a t-shirt has a size and a color. I'm going to go ahead and, I don't know if you saw there, I'm going to click add variant. It automatically, it defaults, my first option here is size. And so my sizes might be small. I'm just typing a comma. So let's give it S for small. I type a comma, and then it adds the box there. Medium, comma, large, XL. Hit return. And so it gives me all the variants there. And if I made a mistake or I want to ditch one, I just click the X and it's gone. Let's add another variant, add another option, and it's automatically going to give me color. So it kind of predicts what I'm gonna do. So let's go let's go to black, white, blue. So there's my variants. Here's what's cool is what's happening underneath here is it then gives me all of the combination of all of the variants, right? So I gave 3 colors, black, white, and blue. It's got small black, small white, small blue, medium, black, white, and blue, large, and extra large. And if I have a price for each one, I can enter a price. If I've got a SKU for each one, I enter the SKU, a barcode. So it gives me all of these columns for the variants, and I just start filling out. So I find this interface much more intuitive than the WooCommerce interface. I mean, this is really pretty cool and easy to use. In addition, I can do bulk changes. So let's go ahead and save this.
Really quick, one thing I learned, I was meeting with an Amazon consultant, and if you do go in this variant space, and as he had the different colors, one of the things where we screwed up is we had same design, different colored shirts. They're going to have more products separated out.
Mm-hmm.
But what he said is what you really want to do is keep all the colors together within that same product, because then you aggregate all the reviews, which help for your SEO within that one
So
single
make,
page.
so make one shirt
So-
that's black and then just do the sizes as the variant?
One, if I have design alpha,
Okay.
let's say, I'll have white, the sizes and the colors with that one design. You see what I
Got
mean?
it.
So
You're not splitting it out
you're
into
not-
separate pages.
It's separate
as other
pages
separate
for that one
products.
design.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, are you
So-
saying that the design is a variant or the
Yeah.
design itself?
The design is the product.
Right.
How you did the colors. So one of the errors I made is I made the design with white as a product, the design with blue as a product, the design with black as a product, and Amazon doesn't. It's not good for you because you can aggregate your site and port it over to Amazon instead of Shopify, and it hurts you because you'll get 2 reviews for blue, 1 for white,
Exactly. Yeah.
1 for black. When you can aggregate all those reviews.
Chris,
So
how do
do
you
it
have
like
your,
this.
how do you have your design, are your products the designs and then you have the colors of the variants?
Just like the way you did right here.
Yeah, that's the way you want to do that.
Yeah.
With one design, although that's a big picture, long-term thinking, because you'll aggregate all your reviews. When you put a Judge Me or whatever review app up, you'll get a ton more, and you're also doing one ad buy to one page instead of 2 or 3 other pages.
Exactly.
Yep.
So it's best practice to do what he's
Makes it
doing.
easier for the customer and stuff too. to keep
Exactly.
buying.
Yeah. It's a good practice what you're showing here.
So one thing to note here is this checkbox. So once I've got my variants saved, I can do a bulk change by checking this checkbox and clicking add or bulk actions or add variants. I can change all the prices at once. I don't have to go in and change them each individually. So there's a lot of really handy tools here for bulk actions. If I get rid of a variant, so let me uncheck this. So let's get rid of say extra large. So you see right now I have 12? 12. Let's click edit options. Let's just get rid of extra large as a size. I'll delete it. And you'll see, come on. Oh, yeah, it's a screen glitch. So now my extra large is gone. It's just out of the picture there. So a lot of really quick, nice, handy, simply used tools here inside of the product area. Any questions?
So if you click large and then select all, you can do just on the top where it says select.
Yep.
That's just to show the larges.
Those are all the
And then
larges.
You can edit, do bulk actions price on those.
I'm sorry.
What if you have only like 2 larges off? Would it remove the inventory management system in the back?
I don't know. Do you know that? Actually, you don't manage it. You don't really manage inventory.
What's the question?
So you're removing it from the site, but inventory says we still have 2. You're just removing it because you don't want to sell that size anymore. Would it also delete the inventory quantity that you have on hand?
I believe so because the inventory is part of it. So here's a neat screen as well. So let me go back to T-shirt. Come on.
So you're saying you want to unpublish it from the website?
Yes,
So
but you still have.
the inventory, yes, you can remove it from the website, but it's still on your inventory, even though it's not, you just.
Right.
But
there's
you
a
don't want to delete
visibility.
the variant.
No,
But
you
which
just
one
remove
did
the
you get?
visibility. So if you go to another
Of the whole
screen-
product?
So my computer center totally pull up my website and show you. And like, so it has
Because
the,
you
you
could-
know, the CC.
Not sell anymore until the
Yeah.
2 T-shirts are left,
Yeah.
but still
Go ahead.
notify
No, I
the.
understand exactly what you're saying. So the thing is, what he's not talked about yet, there's a visibility button.
Right here?
Visibility. So you can remove the visibility of it being on your website, so it's
see.
still in the inventory, but it's not visible on the website. And you can also choose what other channels it's visible on. So let's say if you connect it with Facebook or
But I think he's
Amazon.
looking at it you're looking at a product level. I think he's looking at a variant level.
So are you looking at it as like the
I'm
very
moving
survey?
at a supply chain level, yeah.
Yeah, because see at the very top.
Not
Yeah.
about what.
So
I look at. I know what you're saying in the top right where it says like online store, right? Where you'd have like BuzzFeed and eBay and Shopify and Amazon. I don't know if you can do individual variant level visibility.
Yeah, that's what I was asking as well.
Yeah.
You were a lot clearer
let's-
than I was, but yes, that's why I was asking if it's at the product level or the variant level.
Can you set,
And I think what he's trying to do is set
Something
the
like a
visibility
timer
of the
or-
variant.
Yeah.
And I don't think you can do that.
I like that.
can you set in the back end where if you don't have any more stock, it will just
Hide it?
automatically remove it from
Yeah.
the site?
Yeah,
You said whether you allow back orders or not.
yeah. I use the back and stock app. It's awesome. Like it'll help you manage your buying your inventory and everything else too. It's great. And so I usually use that, and people sign up for it, and I'll see the list and buy extra. And then they get an email once it's back in stock, and you'll see conversion rate. I think it was well over 25-30%, which is insane.
So what I was starting to show is there's another view of this screen. So any of these edit buttons kind of take you to the same place, but these take you to the variant screen. And at the variant screen, I can edit some more options within the variant. So I can set my inventory or my inventory setting specifically for the variant. If I wanted to set something for medium white, I click that, and now I'm editing medium white rather than small black. And that's what these options are for. Not exactly what you're saying, right? These are just sort of the
set a stock level in every ordering point.
Maybe you can help me here, Dave.
So
with that.
what you're saying is, I know that it's 30 days to reorder, or take.
Would that give you? Would it trigger or?
No, what you want is like an inventory planner is what I've been using. I used to use Stitch, which is very manual. Inventory planner actually does the analyzing of your in real time of your inventory, tells you what you should and shouldn't buy.
So that gives you a forecast?
Yeah, it will give you the forecast, and it'll do seasonality for you as well. You can enable seasonality on individual products. So it really, like, it's still a growing app compared to what Stitch is. Stitch is very enterprise level.
Mm-hmm.
It's overpriced for what it is, and it's actually it's a lot simpler with this inventory app I've been using. I've been finding there's all your POs, everything, but it'll tell you as you're entering the product, you put in the vendor, put in your price, put in your lead time, and then it just, you hit PO and you hit that vendor, and here's what send it off. Yeah, I mean, I have 1,000 SKUs, so I'm dealing with that, like, I need a medium of this, I need that, I'm just trying to guess, like, it's POs in a minute, to get it done.
So, so automatically create a purchase order?
Well, you go into the PO area, you hit PO, and then you'll select the vendor for those products, and then you hit a button, and it'll literally say, you need this many here, and you can adjust
based
it
how many,
based on whatever
your stock level or
exactly. Yeah, I mean it's really, there's a few of those out there. I'm just using this called Inventory Planner, I think is the one I'm using right now. I went from Stitch over to that, and I'm doing it multi-channel across Amazon as well as Shopify, and it'll do it across. You can go each individual channel and look at it as well. It's really it's a cool app. It's a lot cheaper.
Would it take into consideration returns or
yeah, because it manages it.
What app are we talking about, by the way?
It's called Inventory Planner.
Okay. So let me just give a quick segue here. One of the other tabs I was going to show is the Apps tab, right? So this is the App Store. So everything Dave's talking about is available here. So inside of the Apps tab, this is the apps that I have installed in my particular store. If I click visit the Shopify App Store, this is where you go to add on all the apps that Dave's talking about. So go ahead again.
Yeah. So when you say about the returns, it just looks at what you have in inventory, and it'll connect whatever channels you got. So I have FBA, does all my fulfillment everywhere across all channels. So I'm Prime on Amazon, but it does my fulfillment for Shopify. So I literally order shirts from the people that have the license for the t-shirts, full casual. They send it to Amazon. I never touch inventory at all.
And is it Stitch is what you're talking about?
Stitch is one I didn't like.
Okay.
It's called Inventory Planner. It's a smaller company. Yeah, that one. Yeah. And it's done, that's it, the one you got right there. Oh wait, yeah, there you go.
Yep.
So yeah, is it sexy? Not necessarily, but it works simplistically for what you want.
I don't care about sexy.
Yeah, it just work, right? But Stitch does all these reports and all these kind of crazy things.
Work.
It's overloaded. It's a lot of manual.
Into QuickBooks or any ERP system?
Inventory Planner ties with whatever your fulfillment service is.
Mm-hmm.
You then would use QuickBooks as an app and plug it in. I forget the other company. My bookkeeper doesn't like QuickBooks integration with this.
Yeah, it does not work well.
And Shopify worked with them, and then I think Bold started working with QuickBooks. It's never been good.
Right.
There's the other account. What was it?
Fresh.
Not FreshBooks.
Zero?
Zero. Yeah, she was using Zero and like Zero a lot better for the integration, but even so, she's doing a lot of just manual through what we were pulling in. We use Stitch to help try and figure it out, but QuickBooks, I would like, she hates it.
So since we're here, I want to compare this to the WordPress Codex, right? So the WordPress Codex has reviews, it has stars, right, for plugins, and it'll let you know how many times the plugin's been downloaded, when it was last updated. There's a lot of really handy information inside of the WordPress Codex. If I look at this, there's 41 reviews. Is that good? Is that bad? Is that
That's good. I mean, what you also want to do is read the reviews and look at dates.
Okay.
And you'll see, people, they'll try to get you to give a review literally like in the first 2 weeks if someone uses it, and then they don't come back if they hate it later on.
Okay.
But yeah, 41 reviews is good, 5 stars, but there's some out there that have 500 plus reviews.
Is that expensive?
That's more premium. A lot of them are anywhere under 10, under $20.
Okay.
There's like, I'll take product reviews because that's a big space. Everybody wants product reviews. Shopify has their own product review that's free.
Okay.
But it doesn't trigger emails. So someone just has to like buy the product and come back, which will never happen. And then you add on another app on top of it that's free to then trigger the emails, and you have to customize the email that goes out. And we did good. I mean, we have like, I think over 1,000 emails using it. But then there's another product called Yotpo. Yotpo is the end-all be-all for reviews, but they want about $1,000 a month, and it's like, those are more enterprise stores.
Sure.
But they integrate where you can upload an image from your email. Then there's another one called Judge Me, which I'm using now. I moved from the free on Shopify. It's a lot nicer, cleaner. It's like $25 a month, and that's a good, solid, nice design, nice customization, everything in it.
Let me ask a related but a different topic question. In the WordPress space, because it's open source, if I just throw in a whole bunch of plugins, there could be plugin conflicts, right? So there actually could be code conflicts. Does that exist here as well?
Yes, and I'll say no. And the reason I'm going to say it in a weird way, I'm going to use Stitch and Bold. Bold is the 800-pound gorilla for Shopify apps. They're the ones that have been around there from the beginning. The good guys have a lot of robust apps that have really figured out, oh, we need this app. That's what someone needs to run a store. They have product. I think it's product discounts where they make it's called a hidden product. So they'll make the product at, let's say, $24.99, but you want to sell it for a flash sale at $19.99, $15.99, whatever. So it kind of hides a product. Stitch doesn't know that. And so your inventory management gets all screwed up, and they're going, wait, what is this product? It creates a new product in Stitch. And so when I say, it's not truly code, it's just messing up all your inventory.
There's content, there might be content
yes,
conflicts,
exactly. Yeah,
but there's no code conflicts like what because in WordPress, a typical code conflict is you might put a slider that uses some JavaScript and another plugin that uses some JavaScript, and you've got a JavaScript conflict where neither plugin works anymore.
So I had that happen with a theme in Bold.
Okay.
Where they were trying to, I forget what the product was. It was bulk discounts, I think, and it was running into an issue with a theme where it was hiding our pricing and rearranging stuff. So it was a theme, not app to app.
Okay.
But a theme to Bold, and then the hidden product piece. But I haven't really seen where I know what you're talking about. The plugins are like, okay, turn off every plugin, turn one at a time on, and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, yes. I haven't run into that.
I haven't run into that either.
Good. Wow. Good. Shopify might be doing some sort of enqueuing or protection so that those conflicts don't exist.
They do have an app approval process.
Yeah.
I know that, and it is pretty strict. I had some people that have gone through the app process, and they've had to revise things a few different times to tweak it to make it actually what Shopify approved.
Chris, you ready? Sure. All right. So I've asked Chris to give a demo of the store that he's been building recently, and so I want him to show it, and also I want us to discuss some things about it. So do you want to use my computer? Yeah. Go ahead. All right. So give a round of applause for Chris.
So I started the store 6 months ago, so we're still learning and growing. And like Rob said, our background is more marketing, So our goal is obviously create sales, create revenue. And so our store has really completely evolved probably 3 times over since we started. And so this is a faith-based store. And again, we didn't spend a lot of time on design of the store. We got to a point where we felt comfortable and we started generating sales.
What's the domain?
What's that?
What's the domain?
Allthingsbyfaith.com.
Thank you.
And just to go over a little bit, like he was talking about products, I started looking at Shopify probably almost exactly a year ago. Just started studying it, and it took me 6 months to get to a point where I felt comfortable enough to actually, spend the money on Shopify, the $30 a month, and use a free theme and start just playing with it and getting familiar with it and understanding how it worked. And obviously they're shirts, and so I used a print-on-demand supplier when I started. Custom Cat. I don't know if anybody's heard of Custom Cat. Did you use Custom Cat?
No. We have the license to digital. There's a print company, so they distribute like all kinds of brick and mortar everywhere. We're just one of the buyers basically from them.
So basically, to start out with Shopify store, use it if you're going to sell apparel. Print on demand is very easy because you can just plug in the app. Custom Cat. There's Printful. There's several out there that'll connect up to your store, and you just you sell something and you pay as you sell. You pay them the print. They ship it for you. So we started in June. And obviously the biggest thing is generating sales. So I spent 90% of my time on Facebook. My wife had an Instagram account. She was growing. She has about 13,000 followers, and so we spent a ton of time on that. Probably didn't spend enough time on the site like we would like to, and so now we're kind of going back and looking at the design. And now that we have somebody that is digging into it, maybe can help us a little more and what we want to see. Like there's apps out there that do a lot of things, but maybe are missing a few of the things that would make sense from a marketing standpoint. So we launched the store, plugged in Custom Cat, got some initial designs done on Fiverr, and launched it. And spent probably the first month. We launched it. We did get some sales. Obviously we lost money. But setting up the store was fairly simple. We used a free theme that looked pretty clean. We started out that way. It just didn't have any of the bells and whistles to be able to get people to convert when they land on a page. And we're still working with this. This is a paid theme right here. But when he was talking about products, if you look, there's different apps that have different options as far as colors. They have different color swatches that you can choose from. This particular one, at the bottom, you can just scroll through the design. You can pick what you want, and you can pick, medium or whatever, and add to cart. Of course, going to ask for our email.
Let's talk about that.
Oops, I clicked out of that.
Did you excel?
Not to get too far off, but one thing that Rob and I have been testing is obviously, getting more emails on the abandoned carts, because you get a ton of abandoned carts. So this one app, as soon as you add the cart, it automatically pops up a window that says, hey, to add this item to your cart, enter your email address. Well, I've probably increased my email gathering by ×4 on a daily basis.
What's the name of that app?
Consistent Cart.
Yep.
Are you finding it is quality emails too versus quantity? And what do you use for email marketing? Because I've got MailChimp. I'm always trying to grow the list of quality because they're going to bill you for the amount, right? And so I can go buy a list and a million names. You're going to pay a lot, not good conversion. So I'm always trying to find that quality at a good way to pay for it, whether it be an ad through Facebook of a specific target, I'm always looking for it, and I like the idea. I just didn't know when you start doing the email marketing, did you see a better conversion rate, a lower conversion rate, or do you get more people unsubscribing?
Well, when I first started, obviously, I upgraded Shopify to the middle plan, which has an abandoned cart email. One email that goes out, right, with abandoned cart. So I started with Klaviyo, and you can add as many emails as you want to your abandoned cart sequence. But what I found with this app, it actually has a built-in email sequence of 3 that you can use. So what I do is I use a combination of that one email from Shopify that goes out, and then I use those other 3 to kind of back it up. So I'll go, within the first hour, 24, 48, 72, and I went from probably a 7% conversion to about 20% right now of abandoned recovery. So it made a huge difference in, gathering it. And now that I'm getting more emails.
So wait, that was just the conversion rate on the emails.
That was just conversion rate on
and
the
then you
emails.
added the pop-up later
Right.
to capture more emails. And you're
Exactly.
still at 20%. So now you're getting
Right.
a higher volume of emails
Right.
and maintain your 20% recapture under those emails.
Are you seeing the lower conversion rate on first store visit? Because a lot of people say less friction, right? You want to make it as frictionless as possible.
Right.
So if I got to put my email in before I may buy, I may not. I'm gonna add to cart, may or may not come back. I like it. So don't get me wrong. I'm just wondering if by putting that up front, did you see any
No.
any lower conversion at all?
No, I mean, it's really a soft pop-up, and they can click off. They're not forced to do it. They can either exit out or click off to the side, and it just goes away.
Cool.
But we've found, we're always testing things, so I'm doing other things at the same time. Like, okay, I'm trying to streamline my checkout process. So if I start doing too many things, then okay, what's really making the difference? So I'm trying to not change too many things at once. But Steve, can I access the back of my?
You can right through my portal. So click on. I think it's the far tab. Keep going one more time. No, that one. No, the one before it. Sorry.
Online stores and left, middle, halfway down.
Yeah. No. Here.
I was just going to go to the back of the store.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There you go. So you can access our managed stores.
Managed stores.
Click on plugin. And then here it is me. It's everything's full access.
Full access.
Full access.
Yeah, you know it, baby.
We gotta change
Oh,
that.
jeez.
Yeah.
So on the back end, just to kind of talk about what Steve was talking about, the kind of item here. So with Custom Cat, you can just upload your design, and then you can download all the variants, the colors, all into one item. And it's really smooth. It automatically do this for you, like super quick. I mean, it's amazing. I've got to a point now where I'm off Custom Cat. We actually invested in our own equipment. We're actually doing our own print and fulfillment ourselves now with a DTG printer.
What's
And,
DTG? No,
direct to garment.
Direct to garment.
Okay. As you find stuff here, it's got a lot of variants. And so we actually still use Custom Cat only for our new designs. So I download it all, and I just turn off them as a vendor, and I attach myself. So you'll see over here it says All Things by Babe, but you'll also see Custom Cat here. But I get the luxury of using their system
Are you
to
kidding me?
download.
I didn't know you did that.
Yeah. So I mean, look at all these variants. So I have all these colors
And it did it
sizes,
for you.
and it did it for me automatically.
Wow.
And then I didn't have to mess with it anymore. But I've got to a point now where I do have my own products that I've added and I'm sourcing somewhere else. So you can upload inventory to a CSV file. So I have a template, upload all the items, and I can upload the same thing with a spreadsheet, and then go back in and add all these images. Really very easy. I mean,
So
minutes to get.
one of the things I'm wondering, you could turn off. All right, I sell primarily XL and 2XL and large. Like 4% is medium, and like 7% is 3XL. So you buying in bulk with your own money, you could buy the XL only print those, then farm out the other guys, because you're not going to get a big a break when you're buying in bulk, and farm out to Custom Cat the mediums, right? Or certain colors that
Well, I
you may
mean-
not want to do. That way you're personally not invested in that inventory, right?
I didn't know this garment industry at all. I didn't understand it
Yeah.
until I learned. And Rob has a friend that has been doing it for years, and Rob did screen printing years ago.
Okay,
and,
cool.
And really, I can buy one piece right now at a case price.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So it doesn't even matter. So I can just get whatever I want.
He doesn't carry inventory, so any orders that come in today or tomorrow, he'll order
It's
it
just
in.
fine.
It gets free shipped the next day, and then it prints it, ships out. It's out in 3 or 4 days.
Wow, okay, cool.
Yeah. So
He doesn't carry any
You're
inventory.
not sitting on 50,000,
No.
when it's 10,000, you say that, you're just boom, boom, yeah.
now going Amazon, obviously, that's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah,
But still, you could tighten up those lead times if you can fulfill it yourself and not rely on a drop shipping company to have that lead time.
But if he's doing that kind of volume, then we go to
Chris?
screen printing.
Yeah.
I have a question on your product page. You had something flashing, it said like 10 sold in the last hour.
Yeah, the bottom right.
Now, this
On
is
your
the-
actual page.
No, on the actual
Okay.
product page
Great
itself.
question.
So my question is, have you always had that? And
Okay,
then
so
talk about that.
I started with a basic theme that just looked nice. I mean, it's very clean and soft. And I'm like, well, I'm driving a lot of traffic. My conversion rate is not as well as I'd like it to be. So I did a lot of research, and I was looking for a theme that had good reviews and people were talking about the conversion rate lift and everything. So I bought this theme, and I get 3 stores with the same theme. It has a lot of stuff built into it. So you see the pop at the bottom. That's actually, I changed that from another app, but it has a lot of these extra apps that you use, like a countdown timer and all these different things that create sense of urgency,
Social proof,
and all these different things. So, yeah, that's not real, and I don't even know how to take any of this off yet.
Do you feel like that has helped you though? Because like for me, like I know like a lot of my customers, like they pay a lot of money because they feel like they're getting very limited, like, things. Does that help you with clothing? I'm just curious. Do you feel like that helps you?
I think,
Yeah, it's
and
hard to
I haven't tested, because I've done so much up to this point. I do want to take off some things and do some testing, because I don't like it real busy.
Yeah.
I mean, what do people care about? They care about good product, and they care about what they're paying for the price. Does a countdown timer really, I think in the dropship world, people are talking about having a countdown timer on the product page, like it's only available for the next, 4 hours or whatever.
What happened to your conversion rate when you changed this theme?
When I changed this, it more than doubled my conversion rate, going to this theme.
What's the
Well, I can tell you, like Net-a-Porter, and they do the time down based on certain elements of purchasing, and that's high end. It definitely pushes me. If I have something in my
Yeah.
cart that I haven't purchased, I push that button.
It's the QVC model.
Yeah, it's crazy. It gets me every
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
fresh or something.
Yeah, when I go to add to cart,
I'm a huge online purchaser of things.
yeah.
Ask Steve, why do we have
I
this
mean,
business so I can buy things? But I'm just saying, it is what it is. It does create a sense of urgency. Let's put it that way.
So there's a lot of these things you see were just default in the
What theme is this?
geez, that's a wire, I don't remember what.
You have Amazon Pay. How many people are coming through with Amazon Pay? I've heard good, and then I've heard nothing. Right?
I've probably had maybe 2 people use it.
But PayPal,
Yeah,
he has a
I got
lot
PayPal,
with
yeah.
PayPal. And so one of the stores we started managing, they only have credit card. We're like, okay, one of the first things we got to do is get PayPal because they have a high abandoned cart rate, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's yeah.
There you go. Click on online store. Oh, yeah. There you go.
He's never used a partner.
Well, this is the back. So Shoptimized is the name of the
Shopify? Shoptimized.
Shoptimized.
Thank you.
Shoptimized.
But I'll show you. These are all the apps I'm using right now. Some of them I'm testing right now.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus.
Are you kidding me?
Keep going.
Holy crap.
Throw them on.
Well, this
He's got
consistent
an app
cart.
addiction.
Yeah, I do actually. Consistent cart. I mean, it's worth.
How much are you paying in monthly fees?
I'm
You mean all in with all the
Yeah,
apps?
Yeah.
probably $200 right now.
$300?
Probably 200.
$200? Okay.
So
But it's worth it.
I'll just show you this
That's not-
consistent card.
That's
So-
nothing.
Yeah.
So this is the consistent card that has that pop-up.
I mean,
And so you can see the metrics.
hang on one second, Chris. I mean, let's, $200, let's compare that to hosting your own WooCommerce site.
Yeah.
Scalable WooCommerce site.
Yeah.
Right?
It's crazy.
That's a fraction.
So.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna
Okay,
say,
so-
how much is that? I don't know.
So I've been running this
A lot.
A lot.
3 weeks.
Not a whole month. It wasn't a whole month. It was sometime in December we changed it.
So I've collected 620 emails,
Wow.
and this has
3
created
weeks.
$1,000 in
Wow.
$1,000 in sales. So I mean, every day is different. So you can look at the activity here.
But then you take these emails and you move it to Klaviyo, right? And so that's generating more sales
Right.
too. Okay.
Real quick.
Are you protected by robot emails software where it can just programs where it just automatically send email to?
Oh, I mean, I don't know how those work with a pop-up. I don't know that. Is that what you're talking about? Like
Yeah.
some the Western? I haven't had any problems.
Oh, where a
with it.
robot where it says verify you're a real person and stuff like
Yeah,
that?
you have a software just put in the email.
I haven't,
Spam traffic.
yeah, I haven't had that problem with.
Hey, isn't that going to get filtered out through MailChimp though? MailChimp's going to
Yeah.
track those bounce backs.
Well, I
and
use
filter out.
Klaviyo for my campaigns, my sequences.
Oh, okay.
So the normal stuff, like that pop-up you saw on the regular page, and even people that just opt into my site to get discounts and stuff, all that automatically gets pushed into Klaviyo, and then I have different sequences, like a new design sequence where I have new designs that I launch. But I think this is, in this, I don't remember what the pricing was. I think it's $14.99 a month. It was their base package, and they base it on how much revenue they generate for you. It's a very small percentage of your sales. It's definitely worth it.
Based on clicks or actually
Sales.
Dollars.
Okay.
Dollars, yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, custom cat, easy reports. One of the problems I'm having right now is I turned off custom cat the week of Thanksgiving, and we were in anticipation of receiving our equipment to build it ourselves. And so I disengaged custom cat, changed everything in my own name, adjusted my price points, and doubled my sales over that one weekend, Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Okay, without print source. I'm waiting for my printer to come in.
The printer was delayed.
And the printer was delayed. So I'm still right now. I'm about probably a week behind orders right now. I'm getting orders every day.
Order another printer.
So one of the problems I was having is like I was running reports, reconciling orders, and so when you use Shopify, you get analytics with the medium plan, and you can run reports. And I ran a report of all my items ordered, and the problem I was having is I wanted to see which items were unfulfilled. Okay, so I'd export all these items, and I'd have all these unfulfilled or partially fulfilled, but it's related to the order level. So if I look at an item, it actually was shipped, but the order itself wasn't completely 100% fulfilled. So I was trying to find a report that would give me the raw data at the item level. if that makes
As
sense.
in transit and delivered?
No, printed and shipped versus not
Tracking
printed.
number.
Yeah.
So like someone ordered 4 shirts, you printed and shipped 3 of them,
Right.
and one of them's on back order.
Right. So anyway, easy reports, I'm testing that. Edit order, this is a cool app. I mean, people accidentally order the wrong size and they get an order confirmation. They say, oh, I meant to get an extra large. And so this app, I can actually edit the order really quick. You can either delete the old order and this will supersede that one, or there's a lot of options you have.
You edit the order, or the customer has the ability to edit the order?
I edit the order.
Okay.
Facebook product feed, I mean, this is just automating, taking my catalog and pushing it live completely into Facebook. So my entire product listing is in Facebook. Same thing with Google Shopping. That pushes us into Google Merchant, which pushes you into Google Shop. Does anybody do that? Google Shopping? Okay.
So you had to set up your Google account first, right?
Yeah.
Before you push
Google
it through.
merch. Okay. Ink Locker is a new custom cat, which is actually local here in Costa Mesa. I was just testing them out. Clavio, email marketing, Oberlo. So I actually sell some Christian jewelry on my site, and people are buying it. Okay, it's a 12 to 21 day lead time. And so I haven't perfected the communication yet on that with some people, but I want to be able to do that. So they place an order, I print the shirts, that order automatically through Oberlo goes to AliExpress. Okay, and it automatically, isn't they use Oberlo and then automatically drop ships to the client. Order printer is something I'm testing. Bulk edit tags. My ultimate goal is to carve up my menu where I can go, the women's menu, and then that's broken down into different options for them, or men's, or even children in different sizes. And this gives you the ability to do that as an app, and you can just pick different tags and assign them as in bulk. It works really well. Printout Designer, this is I can customize my packing slips. So I actually print an image of the t-shirt with the design on it. So that actually goes into the order versus the basic Shopify one without any custom development is just text. Privy, that's an email pop-up that connects to Clavio. You were talking about Bold. I use product discount right now. Works really well. And so you can set up.
You use Bold Brain, so it's free, and it integrates with product discount. Actually, it integrates with Upsell, and what it does is it's using their AI to look at the various products that have sold in combinations. You mentioned, let's say, jewelry. So it'll automatically create that product upsell for you, and it'll say this one will be like a 75% rating. You should do it, and it'll create all those pop-ups for you. You bought this shirt. Hey, people who bought this shirt also like this.
So it'll take the data and tell you.
It'll tell
do
you.
It for you.
No, it won't do it for you. You have to go through it. It'll show you a score, like 75, 65, 50. It's all, based on fives, and so if it's 75, I'm like, okay, I'll add it. And I was getting it. It easily paid for the product upsell paid for itself, and you can see what happened. When before I would do it for particular items, it's just like click buttons, and you just start adding it. And it's called Bold Brain. It's free that you'd use with product upsell, and they're integrating it with more things. So
yeah,
it's still be sharing in the Facebook group all the apps they use. And
I was going to suggest that.
Everyone has access to it.
SEO manager, obviously, one of the things on the market
does everyone
side.
know what Upsell is?
Oh, sorry, Upsell. So I was using Upsell. I just did the free trial. I haven't gone back to it yet, and I want to do what you're talking about. So I attach certain items, like for example, I have just a basic T-shirt, and I can sell it for whatever $9.99. So if they order this hoodie, it automatically gives them that pop-up and say, hey, add the matching T-shirt that goes with it for only $9.99 or whatever that deal was. And this would automate that process, and they can click add to cart right there, and then continue to check out.
And what you're saying is each product that you sell has one that might suggest for you to be the one that they pop up.
Exactly. I mean, I'm dealing with 1,000 SKUs as I mentioned. I'm
Yeah.
going to try and set that up manually,
Yep, yep.
and I don't know if you'll like it compared to this shirt or that shirt. It's just seeing what people put into their cart and buy of the similar items, and then you can do I think up to 3 per product. So I'm literally just going through it every day. Whatever I have 75, added to it. But what it does for how Bold gets paid is every time that pops up, you only get like 500 a month or 1,000 a month. You're paying for the pop-ups, which I don't care because it's paying for itself.
Right.
It's moving more inventory anyways. Everybody's happy, and they're using that Bold Brain. This is the first product. They're analyzing all your data and figuring out how to sell more, and they're just going to integrate into everything that they do.
But they automate the adding of the items, right? You can just check I want this.
Yeah, you see a score. You'll just see a score, and then you just
easy.
add it.
Nice. SEO manager, obviously, I'm all about driving traffic, and I need to work on, my descriptions, my links.
SEO manager like Yoast?
Like Yoast.
Yeah. Yoast, yeah.
I had a problem moving from one theme to another. We changed some things. We had lots of broken links. it cleaned up our broken links easily.
SEO manager.
Yeah, and then it's, I've got a team that works for me, not as skilled, so they can clean up all the keywording and everything for each individual page for SEO. But one of the things you can add that's free that Shopify bought is Kit. And
Yeah,
so
I've never tried it.
yeah, so I get a text message when there's a broken link.
Oh, nice.
And then I can go, okay, fix it. And they pretty much default it to go to your homepage. But I usually spend a little bit of time and go, oh, they were looking for this based on the URL, and then I'll direct it.
Nice.
The other thing that Kit does, it allows you to send emails. You can buy Facebook ads. It's not great for it yet. It's done okay. But one of the nice things I did is it'll do a follow-up email after purchase. And it does it text as opposed to HTML. And so I have, from the guy that founded Old Guys Rule, we created kind of a witty email about first purchase and second purchase, kind of like what Claudio would do, first or second purchase, and I'll send an email out. And it sends it out from a normal email address. So I'm getting these replies from people, we love your shirts, buy it for my dad, thank you for reaching out to me, and sort of created more of a human touch instead of just some static website. So it's created this bond between the customer and the brand. Really works well, and it's just part of Kit, so it's free.
Nice.
And they integrate with all kinds of apps. They integrate with Bold, all that stuff, very seamlessly, very easy.
And you like it? Had any problems with it?
No problems with it. If you're gonna do, like, they'll try to get you to buy Facebook ads and other things in there. Whereas you use like a Shoelace or these other people, they're taking a percentage of your sales to do the automated, ad buys. Kit doesn't really do that, but it's not necessarily the greatest conversion, But it's good to test out. I like it, and Shopify is building it out. They want you to be able to easily manage everything, and they get a percentage of every sale, so they're going to give you tools to get more sales.
Anything else? Simply cost. One thing Shopify doesn't have is the cost, like your profitability, like the overall big picture of pulling all that in.
Do inventory planner.
It has all that.
Yeah, because you're putting in what it costs you.
You can put ad spend into and everything.
Not ad spend,
So
but
if
for
you do
product
something like
and
that,
seeing
what's
sales
like-
and your margins.
What's my
and
cost of
everything else.
goods? What's my
I
margin,
found one
everything?
that does all that. An app that I want to try that pulls in. You can ad spend, product cost.
Oh, that's great.
Everything all in one, and then you can analyze.
You found one, you said?
Yeah.
That'd be good to know.
Could you extract the data and just do all that on Excel?
Probably.
Extract all the sales reports.
Yeah, you can go to analytics.
Yeah.
So you can go in here and you can, break down any. And I think this is only available with the middle model, the $79 a month.
The extended reports you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was gonna find that app real quick.
Have you started selling on Amazon through your channel?
I loaded one product. Obviously, I'm learning about Amazon, how to get in the buy box and how to do that whole thing.
Yeah,
but
it's a beast.
I want to get caught up first, and then I can put some inventory in.
Well, the reason I say it is I was up, I think, 160% compared to last year. We dealt with a lot of counterfeiting. I have an expertise now in brand gating and counterfeiting and registry. It's a pain in the ass. Our sales dropped dramatically in 2016 through the roof 2017, for holidays. It's nuts because think about what you do. Everybody's got 75% of households have Prime in the U.S. And that's and it's only supposed to increase.
I know that.
Yeah. 75% of households.
Are you serious?
Yeah, think about it. How many of you in here have Prime?
Of course.
And then
75%
look at
of
where
us.
and then look at where you shop. They say 55% of people that have intent to buy start in Amazon. Start. And so because FBA does our fulfillment for everything, I make passive income. I don't have to do customer support. I don't have to do anything. It just sells on there. And once we got rid of the counterfeiters, which was about 6 months in legal and all kinds of things involved, it just is passive. It just burns through my inventory. I don't have to do anything. So
And it's apparel? It's all apparel?
Yeah, it's Old Guys Rule.
Who does your fulfillment?
FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon.
So do you have to ship in different warehouses, or they handle all that?
Well, my T-shirt license, the company that has a license for Old Guys Rule for T-shirts, I place the PO to them. They go and pick it and pack it for me, and then we tell them, we put it into Amazon, and it'll tell us where they want 3 mediums over here, 5 larges over there, this over there, and it might be 5 different places. And then you ship it out, and then they put it on the shelves. But what they do, usually if it's a new product, they'll send it to a sorting center. Then they'll ship it out on the Amazon planes everywhere to their different distribution centers. What they're trying to get is they're building these facilities, I mean, literally across the U.S., so they're the last mile. So it's standard shipping for them via postal or their own people doing fulfillment to your house. And it's because it's cheaper for them then. So they're cutting down their costs, but they're creating all these warehouse distribution centers. And so they'll literally move, based on their algorithms, one medium to some place in the middle of nowhere, 3 larges over there. And I don't know rhyme or reason, but it gets there fast. I mean, our orders, we say, under 7 days. It's there in less than 2 usually.
Wow.
But I can't ship to Canada. That's a problem. And it's in an Amazon box when it's off of our website.
There's no
That's a
guy in
problem.
Canada.
Yeah, I know.
So once you go Prime, you're in the buy box, right?
What's that?
No.
Nah. Well,
what about a unique clothing item?
Well, we have the trademark on it, and we were getting in 2 days. I found 2,500 counterfeit items. And so you're just going through and documenting it and submitting to Amazon and going through the lawyers to get.
And they were on Amazon as well?
On Amazon. And it was China selling shirts for $3.
Wow.
And then our ratings
You
got reviewed.
could pick that out if you have one order that buys one of everything. That's usually a
Oh yeah, well they were just going to our website, stealing all our imagery, and then they were piggybacking off of our SKUs. I mean, but all I do is I just look up our brand, look for anything less than $15, and pop up. There's all the SKUs. Then you go through and report the counterfeiting, all that. It's a long, slow process.
So you still have to do that today?
Not really, because we're brand gated. Amazon, August 2016, they allowed China to start shipping through Amazon direct to consumer. Then they were going, oh my God, we got all this counterfeits. You'll see stories. I think it was like Birkenstock, I think Nike, NFL. All these people pulled their brands off because of the counterfeiting issue. And so they created a new thing called brand gating. There's brand registry, but brand gating means this SKU has to be approved by the person that owns that trademark before it can be listed. And once I authorize you, you can be listed to sell it. And that's brand new, and it's a long, slow process with lawyers involved. The lawyer that we hired specialized in it. Her website was $2,000 will get you brand gated. That was 2016, like December. I went in January, $5,000. Now it's like through the roof because there's such demand to be brand gated. So with your designs, I would encourage you to get it trademarked, if you have a global brand, and then you get brand registered, and you'll see once something starts to hit a little bit, it gets crazy counterfeiting. We had shirts literally like silky on the front with like cotton on the back, like totally different fabrics. We were getting pictures, and we were getting 1 ratings on Amazon, and it wasn't us. So you're trying to get those reviews removed. It was tough, but I'm telling you, you can make a lot of money on Amazon once you get going. And it's all, if they fulfill it, it's passive. So for you can send inventory there and just let them do all the work, and you'll be prime.
Let's go ahead and end. But if you want to talk about that last app that you were recommending.
Yeah, I was just, there was 2. One's called Simply Cost, the other one's called Profit. And they both track, they bring all your marketing costs in, your product costs.
Which was the Simply Cost and Profit Wise?
I wrote Profit, so it's this one.
Delirious Profit.
This is good. So you get your cost of goods, everything in there.
Okay.
How much is that one?
$5 a month. It all adds up. All right, that's all I got for you.
Round of applause for Chris. Thank you. All right. I am going to save developer tools for next time. But if you're interested, look in Google ThemeKit. ThemeKit is the tool for managing a Shopify theme. Right? It's been around for a long time. It's something that you install at the command line for the developers in the room. There's a more modern or recent product called Slate. So it's sort of the newer version of developing themes for Shopify. So those are the two things to look at. They're very similar, but we'll go over those next time. In the meantime, if there's something that you want to discuss at a meetup, or if you have a speaker to suggest, or if you want to demo your store, just like we do for Chris, let me know, and we'll put on the agenda for the coming months. Other than that, thank you for coming. I think this was a good first meetup, and we'll network for 15 minutes until 9 o'clock, and then we'll see you next month.